back to ASEAN News, and here are some of the latest updated for you. Philippines President meets Chinese Premier Li in Beijing after COVID-19 pandemic.
Philippine President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. met with Chinese Premier Li Keqiang on his first state visit to China.
We already have between our two countries 100 agreements between the Philippines and China. We are going to sign close to a dozen on this trip, and that bodes well. And I believe it is important that the symbolic nature of this visit is also underpinned by a solid foundation of agreements, and perhaps this will be the beginning of our partnership as we face the new normal, we face the new post-pandemic global economy.
This is the second face-to-face meeting between the two leaders since they met in Cambodia during the 25th ASEAN-China Summit in November 2022. Marcos' visit to China came amid concerns by the Philippines over reported Chinese construction activities and the storming of Beijing's vessels in disputed waters of South China Sea. A Philippine Foreign Ministry official's talks with Xi will include China's actions in the South China Sea.
China and Philippines can solve problems in a credible and mutually beneficial way.
Philippine President Ferdinand Marcos Romualdez Jr. called China a good friend and said the two countries are able to solve their problems in an equitable and mutually beneficial way. Marcos is the first foreign leader hosted by China in 2023. This visit is his first visit to China as his first official visit to a country outside of the ASEAN nations. During an exclusive interview with China Global Television Network in Beijing, the Philippine president said his visit serves to enhance the relationship between his country and China, which is what the world needs.
Well, of course, we are now, all of us, China included, every country in the world is emerging from the pandemic economy. And I think the partnerships that we make as a country, both China, both the Philippines and the other countries, the partnerships we'll make are the ones that will make us stable in this world now that is a little bit confusing. And so that I think gives us further opportunities to strengthen our relationship.
Marcos believed that the relationship between the two countries can grow stronger as they talk on a government-to-government, private sector and people-to-people basis.
I feel confident, as I said, the foundations that we have laid, because it is not the only discussion that China and the Philippines are having. We talk on very many bases. We talk on the G2G, government-to-government basis. We talk on the on private sector basis. We talk on PPP basis. All of these things. Even we have educational exchanges, we have cultural exchanges. So those I think help solidify the relationship, and that's why I do not think that any difficulties will change, because those other areas will not change. They continue to grow stronger. They continue to become more important to our two countries. And because of that, I feel very confident that we will be able to move forward.
Marcos said the Philippines and China will carry forward their friendship based on the solid foundation they have built.
Philippines and China agreed to strengthen cooperation in various fields.
Chinese President Xi Jinping held talks with President of the Philippines, Ferdinand Romualdez Marcos Jr. in Beijing, pledging efforts to make a comprehensive plan for the future development of bilateral relations so as to bring more benefits to the two peoples and inject more positive energy into regional peace and stability. Xi said that China always takes the Philippines as a priority in its neighborhood diplomacy and views its relations with the Philippines from a comprehensive, strategic perspective. Xi hoped that both sides will maintain regular and strategic communication and remain committed to becoming good neighbors that help each other. Both sides have agreed to strengthen cooperation in 4 key areas of agriculture, infrastructure, energy and culture, and should make great efforts to develop new drivers for growth and produce new highlights in development. In addition, Marcos said he's looking forward to maintaining a close communication with the President Xi and strengthening cooperation in all aspects to open a new chapter in comprehensive strategic cooperative relationship between the Philippines and China, work together to better address the challenges and problems the two countries both face. The Philippines is willing to tap potential with China, continue to enrich the bilateral relations and deepen cooperation in agriculture, infrastructure, energy, culture, trade, investment, science and technology, and digital economy. Marcos said the Philippines is willing to continue to properly handle the maritime issues through friendly consultations and resume consultation on oil and gas development with China.
Indonesia's Bali awaits to welcome Chinese tourists back.
Businesses in Bali said they were gearing up to welcome Chinese tourists back after an absence of 3 years.
I think that basically they should just make sure that everybody is tested and checked and regulated, and we have to get on with life.
While Australia, Britain, India, Japan and the United States are among the nations that require a negative COVID-19 test from inbound Chinese South Asian countries, from Cambodia to Indonesia and Singapore, have all declined such requirements. Chair of Bali's Tourism Board, Ida Bagus Agung Parta says the island will increase its defense and workers take a second booster dose of vaccine. China is one of the biggest sources of tourists for Indonesia, especially for tourism-reliant destinations such as Bali. Statistics agency data showed nearly 2 million Chinese tourists visited Indonesia between January and November in 2019, or around 13% of total tourist arrivals for that period.
Thailand says no need for COVID-19 curbs on Chinese travelers.
Thai authorities said there will be no need to enforce COVID-19 restrictions, such as on-arrival tests or quarantine, on travelers coming from China. Public Health Minister Anutin Charnvirakul said Chinese travelers will be treated like any other inbound foreign nationals arriving in the country. Thailand requires all foreign travelers, including those from China, to produce proof of COVID-19 vaccination upon arrival. Authorities around the world are imposing or considering curbs on travelers from China as COVID-19 cases there surge following its relaxation of zero-COVID rules ahead of China's border reopening. Anutin urged Thais to get a fourth COVID-19 vaccine booster to reduce the risk of serious illness and death. Thailand's tourism authority told Reuters that they expect an influx of at least 5 million Chinese tourist arrivals this year. One of Asia's most popular travel destinations, Thailand is seeing a quick rebound in tourism after the lifting of COVID-19 curbs last year, when there were about 11 million foreign visitors.
Chinese First Lady and the Philippine First Lady visit National Museum of China.
Xi Jinping and Araneta Marcos saw an exhibition held jointly by the National Museum of China and the Palace Museum and recalled the history of exchanges between the older generation of leaders of the two countries. They were pleased with the development of bilateral friendly relations. Peng said that China and the Philippines are close neighbors facing each other across the sea and that the Philippines is an important country of the maritime Silk Road. Araneta Marcos thanked Peng for inviting her to visit the National Museum of China and expressed her hope to have better and deeper understanding of the Chinese history and culture. She said the two peoples should carry forward the spirit of the Silk Road and keep enhancing mutual trust and friendship.
Japan to toughen border control for travelers from China.
Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida said Japan will toughen its COVID-19 border control measures for travelers from China.
8日より中国本土からの入国者の検査を
Kishida told reporters at a nationally televised New Year news conference that all travelers from mainland China will need to go through PCR test or quantitative antigen test upon arrival at the airport. Additional measures including pre-boarding negative COVID-19 test results for passengers on direct flights from China, as airlines are urged to limit any additional flights. Authorities around the world are imposing or considering curbs on travelers from China as COVID-19 cases there surge following its relaxation of zero COVID-19 rules. China has rejected criticism of its COVID-19 data.
And that's the whole news for today, everyone. Enjoy your weekdays ahead. Stay safe and stay healthy.